Filipina girls are kind, they're loving and loyal, but they're not stupid. So in this video, I'm going to give you 10 things to take away, the effective way to date a Filipina girl, and that is the operative word, effectively. Let's get into the video. So I met my wife back in 2011, and we were working in Malaysia, both of us. We got married in 2015, and just before that our son was born in 2014. So we've been together since 2011, that's 13 years, and we have a house in the Philippines in the Bicol region. So the first thing you need to think about is be good at communication, and I'll tell you why. Because it can be English is not a problem, but communication can be a problem sometimes. They come from a different culture as you come from, so the one thing I've learned living in Southeast Asia for a long time is when you talk about something plural, for example, fish and chips, you put the S on excuse me, you put the S on the end of chip because it's chips, right? In Southeast Asia, they don't tend to do that. So if you go to a restaurant in Southeast Asia, be it Philippines or Malaysia, you might see on the menu fish and chip. Now, I have first-hand experience of this in communication with my wife, and it happened when the house was being built, our house in the Philippines, and I was overseas working, and we were building a roof deck. So the house was already built, but we were building a roof deck on the top. So my wife sent me a message when I was in the Middle East, and she says, "Do you still want the window?" I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "In the roof deck, because we had basically 3 walls, and it's open at the front with a roof on top." I said, "Yeah, of course." She said, and she replied, "Okay, then I'll go and get a price." So she came back to me with a price for the windows, and I thought, that's a bit strange. It's very, very high for one window, because I thought she was only going to put one in. So anyway, it was about 4 or 5 months later. I was going to the Philippines, going home, and I got back, and there's about 5 windows all the way around, and I had a wee chuckle to myself. I realised then, when she says, "Do you still want the window?" she was talking about windows. So you have to be careful with communication. That's the first thing. Number 2, be a gentleman. Treat her with respect, as you would anyone else. A lot of people think Asian women are easy, so they can just treat them how they want, and I think that's pretty shocking, really. So if you're a gentleman, she will respect you, and you'll be making her feel good at the same time. It doesn't matter who you're talking to or who you're with. You should always treat them with respect, and just be the gentleman. Number 3, look your best. Don't turn up looking like a scruff. You wouldn't like it if she turned up, and she didn't make an effort. So if you make an effort, she's going to appreciate that, and it's a normal thing to do, to make an effort. Try and look your best. If you're feeling a wee bit, self-conscious about yourself, as long as you try your best, she'll appreciate that. Number 4, try and do some bonding over food. especially Filipino food, because Filipinos love to eat Filipino food, as I do. But initially, if you haven't been to the Philippines, then you might be thinking, oh, you just want to have Western food all the time. But if you, again, make an effort and try the local food, you might find that you like it. That's what I did, and I love Filipino food. I had been in Southeast Asia for quite a few years before I met my wife. But just try the local food. Start off with something that you might recognise, like chicken, right? Now, they've got a lot of different dishes in the Philippines, so there's a lot to try. But if you make an effort, she will again appreciate that. Number 5, be interested in her. Try and take an interest in her life, her family, what she likes, what she wants. You might find initially, the first time you date a Filipina girl, that she's a bit shy. And that's a common trait, and it's part of the way they're brought up, and it's in their culture. So don't be put off by that. I remember at the beginning, I was a wee bit confused and upset with my wife. And on a few occasions I said to her, "Is everything okay?" And she said, "Yeah, why?" I said, "Well, you're really quiet." And she said, "That's just the way I am, eventually." But initially, she never said that, and I got a bit confused. But in the end, she said, "I'm just quiet. I'm like my papa." So if I hadn't taken an interest in her, I wouldn't have came to know that. So number 6, keep in mind that she's very family orientated. All Filipinas are. Family is their number 1 priority. So just bear that in mind. You'll find that if she's overseas when you meet her, you'll find that she sends a lot of money home to her family, and that's normal. It's maybe if you're from Europe or America, if you're from Western culture, you might find that a bit surprising, but it's what they do. They look after their family, and that doesn't necessarily mean their direct family. It could be nephews or nieces, or even cousins. Number 7, be flexible, be adaptable, and try and come to a compromise if you're in a sticky wicket. I say that because I find that my wife can sometimes leave everything up to me, and I'll say to her, "Look, you have to do what you want to do as well." That's called being adaptable, right? Be flexible as well. Sometimes she might have to go somewhere or do something, and you don't want to do it, and she might not tell you the reason why because she's shy. So if you're flexible, she'll appreciate that as well. It's just part of human nature, isn't it? Try and be flexible when you can. The next one is be loyal. When you meet a Filipina girl and let's say you've been dating for some time. Now, if you both like each other, and remember, she's looking for a life partner. She's not looking for a one-night stand or someone who's only half interested in her. That's what I found, and my wife was over the moon when I finally proposed to her. It took some time because I was going through a divorce at the time. And what happened was, when I was in Malaysia, I had arranged dinner at the top of the telecoms tower, Menara KL, and I was going to propose when we were at dinner, but I had the ring and I had it inside the box, I didn't have anywhere to put it, so I just put it in my trouser pocket. The problem was it was huge, you know, the box was huge. So I ended up proposing to her in our apartment. And yeah, it was a special moment. And I know she feels the same. Learn about her culture. It's something that you might not be used to. I know it was like that for me. Filipinos are not like Indonesians or Malaysians or Thai. The culture is different. Try and learn about our culture, about the Philippines, and even, why don't you even try and try to learn a bit Tagalog. I know it's difficult trying to learn a foreign language, especially if you've only ever learned one. But I bought a book, and the book came with a CD, and I tried. I gave it a go, but I didn't see it through. So my plan is, when I retire and I'm in the Philippines full time, I'm definitely going to give it a go, because when you're in the Philippines, it's all well and good getting by speaking English, but if you can speak Tagalog, or at least some Tagalog, you'd be amazed how much responsive the person that you're talking to is. And it's the same, actually it's the same in any country. If you learn their language in a foreign country and you speak to them, they are very responsive and they like it. And I can't remember if that's all 10. Here's a bonus one. Be yourself. Don't try and put on any airs and graces. She wouldn't be impressed with that. Just be yourself, be honest, be truthful, and have a laugh. You know, Filipinos like to have a laugh. And I mean, I was always like that anyway. I always like to have a good laugh. And laughing is good for the soul. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and cheers. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.